agenda. Under B, short-term rental appeals, we have Joshua Rose. Under consent calendar, we have additional bills for approval. Under the mayor's and council members report, we have city hours and agenda. I just added that, so if you guys want to pencil that in, that's coming off of F and making it over its way under the mayor's agenda. Under F, for scratching number 3, memo from Conway regarding the change in benefits, and number 4, memo dated September 5th from Administrator Conway, update on City Hall hours. Is there a motion for approval?
I move to approve the additions.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? There's a second. Is there any conversation? Seeing no conversation, those in favor of approving the agenda items signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, first up is Thomas Ruther here. Yes. All right, come on up to the microphone, state your name and address, and then just pause for a second.
My name is Tom Ruther. Our address is 12140 Anchor Point Road.
Perfect. Jen, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So before we get into this first short-term rental appeal, do you want to give the rundown of the findings?
Yes.
Please.
So I produced everything to you all. This is a violation for renting without a license. Short-term rental advertisement was located on Facebook Marketplace for 12140 Anchor Point Road. You can see the attachments that I included for the advertisement, the Facebook profile that was advertising, as well as messages in which it was discovered that they've owned the property since 2002 and have been renting 3 to 4 times a summer for the past 3 years.
Gotcha. Ms. Conway, do you have anything to add? Oh, never mind. Did she? Hey, Lori, are you back in? Lori? Oh, connecting. Hey, Lori, can you hear me? Okay, let's just keep going. What is your appeal, sir?
Yes, just a little background of us. Like she said, we've had our property up here for 23 years. My wife worked at the school over here about 3 years ago for a year. And we've been coming up here, like I said, 23 years sporadically. We both had full-time jobs, got up here as much as we could. Since we retired, we're hopefully had some opportunity to do some other traveling, see other parts of either the state or the surrounding area that we weren't able to do while we were working. So we opted to rent our place in order for us to go out and do other things instead of coming up here. And as she said, we did have it posted. I got a message from the city administrator on May 9th that asked if we are renting our place, and she from June 1st to October 15th, if we would rent it that whole time. And I just said, no, we only rented 3 times. It gives us an opportunity to go away. So as I find out now that I knew nothing about a short-term rental license. The first we noticed it or was informed was when I got the certified letter from the city the end of July. And so we immediately took down the post, and as I go back on that and saw that we had some conversation with the city administrator on May 9th, I started doing some research and looked up that I had till June 1st in order to get the proper, if I'm correct, maybe I'm wrong, to get the proper stuff turned in for getting a short-term rental license. And at that point, if I was, I guess, I was kind of, now hindsight 2020, if we would have got a message back from her that said, well, as I see you don't have your license for short-term rental, you have till June 1st to get it in, we would have never went that route and never ever got a short-term rental. We never had it on Airbnb, we never had it on VRBO. We just thought, as we both had recently retired, gave us an opportunity to do some traveling and see other parts of
All right.
whatever. So that's where we're at.
Okay. Are you currently renting or no?
No,
And
I immediately took the post down when I got the certified letter from City of Cross Lake.
Okay. Did you do any renting this year?
We did.
Okay.
I think we had a 1 week and maybe a long weekend, a 4 week, a 4 day, I mean.
Okay. Jen, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Administrator Conway, do you have anything you would like to add? I'll take that as a no. Council, what is your opinion here on the route of going, or on what we should do and the way we should handle this?
Can you remind me, when did you get the certified letter?
The certified letter we got, I believe it was July 24th.
Yeah, that's, or July 21st, it looks like on.
Okay, 21st, yeah, I knew it was later in July. And going forward, we have absolutely no intention of ever renting again.
Okay.
We were not in the rental business. Again, it just gave us an opportunity to do things we didn't have. I was in the hospitality business. It was 7 days a week, nights and holidays. And now that we're retired, we're being able to do stuff that we hadn't been able to do at that time.
Yep. Just a reminder, just for council and city staff, they did put time and effort into investigating this and whatever, and they are making the recommendation that we still go forward with an administrative fine, but I just want to hear everyone's opinions.
Well, it just seems odd to me that you weren't aware that a license was required.
Why? I mean, how would I know?
Well, I mean, if you're going to participate in a, short-term rental situation, it seems like you would have investigated like what the requirements were and et cetera.
And back when we bought in 2002, I don't think there was any such thing as a short-term rental. So I don't know. Again, we're up here up until
Right.
we're retired, maybe 20 times a year.
Did you happen to have a short-term rental license with Crow Wing County at all?
No. No, didn't know anything about that either. Again, our intentions were not to be in the rental business by any means. Again, going forward, we have no desire to do it.
Okay.
If I may make a comment,
Go
the
ahead.
people that received communication were short-term rental owners in good standing with Crow Wing County. So as Mr. Ruther was not registered with Crow Wing County, we would have had no prior knowledge. And the fact that they were not using Airbnb or VRBO, our AI software did not pick up on it, which is why it went on for so long undetected.
Okay. Thanks,
Gotcha.
Jen.
Gotcha. Robin?
This one's a hard one, and you do not plan to rent in the future at all?
No. In fact, if we would have got a message right away between May 9th and June 1, I would have answered her right away. Absolutely nothing. We have no desire to rent.
Sure,
I just don't, we don't even take our personal stuff out of the house.
right.
And as far as vetting, the people we had in there, for example, Heath from Heath Resort, Dave Heath rented for me last year for 1 week. Comes up from Florida and said, hey, I'm up here seeing family, whatever. So, okay, so I could vet him and know that he was going to throw parties and whatever. And I've had people approach me through other rental places that said, hey, would you be interested in it? We have a group of 12, a stag party for 12. They were going to give me big money for 2 nights. I said, absolutely not. I wouldn't do that to my neighbors. I love my neighbors. My neighbors have never had any issue with the 2 times a year that maybe we've been renting.
I think the fact that you weren't on like, VRBO or, Airbnb, I mean, you weren't really in the business of short-term rentals. I mean, that's.
By no means. And again, we're never going to do it again. You have my absolute word.
Well, you can if you just get a license, but,
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We have no desire. We don't want to get the license. And as I looked up what that is, you have to have somebody within a 30-mile radius to be on call and stuff. I happen to live an hour and 40 minutes away, and I'm not going to put anybody in that position either. And we don't need to. We absolutely don't need to.
Jamie?
You said you had renters one time this year.
1 week and 1 4-day, I believe.
Do you know when they were?
4th of July was
Okay.
the one,
Okay,
and then I don't recall the other one.
okay.
Bob?
Yeah, I'm inclined, under the circumstances, to give the Ruthers the benefit of the doubt. I don't think certainly they weren't doing this intentionally, and because they weren't licensed before with the county, they didn't know about that, and I don't think you're lying to us. I think you're an honest
Sir,
man.
I'm not lying at all.
I understand, yes.
Well, I think there's a general consensus here on the way we want to go. Does anyone have any last-minute thoughts on city council? Does any city staff have any last-minute input? Seeing none, is there a motion one way or another?
I would make a motion to honor his appeal.
There's a motion to honor Mr. Ruther's appeal. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
There's a second by Bob. Seeing there's a motion, a second to appeal, or to whatever the appeal.
To
That's a mouthful.
honor his
accept
appeal.
the
To accept, yeah, to accept the appeal.
Yeah.
Tongue twister there. Signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Appreciate very much
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you very, very much.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Go Vikes.
Yes, go Vikings, yes. All right. Next up is Chad Dixon. Chad, come on up and state your name and address, please.
Chad Dixon, 38325 County Road 3.
Jen, if you could give us a synopsis of the investigation, that would be great.
Okay, this is another for renting without a license. 38325 County Road 3, Chad Dixon. Chad did complete his online application and paid a fee. He does manage other properties in the area, so he's familiar with the requirements and what needs to be completed. For this specific property, he did not pass his fire life safety inspection due to a failing septic system. He was not granted a license and was found to be advertising and renting. You can see the attachments that I included for the council. It is to be noted that Chad has since upgraded his septic system, and the date of installation was 8/21 of 25. He was offered a reduced fine of $1,000.
Of how much? Sorry.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000.
Can you remind me what we did with the trash can people? Was that 500 or was that 1,000?
So renting without a license, the initial fine is $3,000. So
Okay,
when we
that's right.
offer a reduced fine, we had reduced it to 1,000. Just violating the ordinance, so the trash cans, those were 1,000, so they were offered a fine reduction of 500.
Thank you. Chad, go ahead.
In March, I submitted my STR license application, as Jen just mentioned, which has remained listed in the MuniRevs portal as pending approval, which it still is today. On June 5th, we completed the required life and safety inspections with Mr. Lowmiller, which was incredibly helpful for all of our Cross Lake properties. During that visit, we reviewed the septic paperwork. My understanding was that the system was considered compliant under the state inspection form, and that if further action was needed, I would receive formal written notice. No such communication was provided between the June 5th inspection and the July 21st citation. I also do want to acknowledge that Mr. Lowmiller and I did have a discussion on June 5th about whether the system was deemed compliant, given that the actual compliance inspection report does say that it's compliant. As I recall, the conversation ended as an open-ended question that would require follow-up from the city. I expected that clarification would be provided in writing before any penalty was imposed. On page 1 of the state-issued compliance inspection report, the inspector clearly checked the box indicating that the system is compliant. This designation is in accordance with Minnesota Pollution Control Agency standards and is the determining factor of compliance. The additional note, quote, certificate is for tank only, drain field to be abandoned, end quote, simply reflects that the compliance certificate applied to the existing tank system and the drain field would be taken out of service if the new design was implemented. It does not alter the compliant designation itself. The Cross Lake Short-Term Rental Ordinance, Section 23-7, requires a, quote, valid compliance inspection performed within the past 3 years, end quote, which is exactly what I submitted. A state-certified inspection report within the required timeframe marked compliant. Based on that designation with my license application still in pending approval status, I had no reason to believe I was prohibited from operating pending further action. If the city's interpretation differed, the appropriate step would have been a written clarification request or a reinspection window, not an immediate operating without a license penalty while my application stayed in pending status. And about the reinspection, if an inspection reveals something out of compliance, the ordinance itself, Section 23-6, under inspections, provides for reinspection and notes that reinspections may take up to 30 days to complete. That structure reflects a cure-first approach in this code. Because my file remained in pending status, I reasonably expected written follow-up and a chance to cure rather than an immediate penalty. Even in the revocation subsection of the ordinance, it requires at least a 14-day prior written notice and an opportunity to appear to refute allegations before a license is revoked. While that process applies to revocation, it shows the city's policy preference for notice and a chance to cure before harsh penalties. The same fairness principle should apply to initial licensing. And I did get the certified letter, but I was out of town from July 30 to August 3, and then I was hospitalized from August 6th to August 10th. So it took me a little longer to respond than what would normally be. But considering all of the following points, my application has remained pending for months without denial, closure, or any communication from the city regarding its status. No written follow-up was provided after the June 5 inspection. The state inspection form that clearly indicates that the system is compliant. And I have now completed the full septic upgrade at significant expense. I have acted in good faith to comply with all the requirements. So I respectfully request that the council rescind the $3,000 fine for operating without a license. Given the clear compliance designation on the state form, longstanding county approval with the exact system, and in the absence of any written denial or closure of my application, I believe that I have met the ordinance compliance requirement as written. Thank you for consideration, and Skol Vikings.
Okay, since there's a few things going on, let's start off with the life safety inspection chip that you did that failed.
So I have a couple questions, Chad. When was your compliance inspection done? What was the date on your form?
August 30th, 2023.
Okay, that's newer than the one that I'm looking at. And we had our conversation there. Did you have an operating septic field, or was it just a tank?
Yes, this is operating septic field.
When I was there?
Yes.
Okay. And how many bedrooms is your septic set up for?
That's what the question was between you and I.
And what did we confirm?
Well, we confirmed that we have a compliant septic system, but the discussion.
Of
that
how
we were
many
gonna have-
bedrooms?
Correct.
Correct.
So we were going to have a discussion about that, which is where I was expecting a follow-up either from you
No,
or the
we
city.
know that it was only for a 2-bedroom because they remodeled and you made it a 4-bedroom. So that septic is not built for a 4-bedroom home.
But the system is still compliant, correct?
I don't believe it is, because
Well,
on the form,
so-
it says the form was filled out incorrectly. Who filled it out?
I have
Who-
6 years.
who signed
Chip,
that?
I have 6 or 7 years of
Okay,
compliant inspection.
I'm just asking a
forms.
question. Who signed that inspection form? Was it Wanabo?
Yeah.
Okay, she said she signed the wrong form.
Why would she sign the
I
wrong
have an
form?
email of that. I can produce that. I'll find it.
That would
But
be
anyway, you and I
helpful.
had a conversation. We went back there
Yeah.
and I said, you cannot do anything. And you said, oh, it's going to cost a lot of money to get a septic system. And I said, well, that's the only way you're going to be able to rent this place.
Again, part of a conversation that we had. And then I look at this and I say, well, the system is compliant. I have compliance inspection reports going back to when I purchased the property and like
For a
whatever it was.
2-bedroom home.
So
But it's still compliant.
Did this
right?
inspection happen and then there was a remodel and then?
Correct.
Okay.
And I mean,
I would also like to make
Oh,
a comment
no,
that this
actually,
one is.
that remodel was done before I purchased the property. So it's been that way since,
So the remodel was done before this compliance
Yes.
compliance inspection?
yeah.
So if the form is incorrect,
That's where.
which
we're-
Chip, you're saying they admitted they signed the wrong form.
I'm looking for it. Amy
There's a
Lonzo
bundle
sent
of
it to me.
issues here.
And
Well, I
actually,
mean,
our P and Z sent it to me as well.
Let's have you
Yeah.
find that first.
I have
Hi.
I have these compliance inspection reports going back, well before 2023.
Mayor and council, if I may make a comment on the
Yes.
septic issue.
Yes.
Included in your packet is a copy of the septic inspection that Chad submitted that we have had on file for several years. Cheryl Stuckmeyer with Planning and Zoning made a note on it and highlighted that stated that this is not up to MPCA standards. This has been on our radar since well before January 1st. We had a concerned individual with a background in planning and zoning who has been reporting this to Crow Wing County, and Crow Wing County has not done anything about it. Like Chip stated, he told Mr. Dixon at the time that it was not compliant for the bedrooms that he wanted. The reason that his application status has remained in pending online, and pending does not mean approved or denied, so pending should not automatically mean that it's approved and that you can go about your business. Pending means pending, and there are emails in there from Mr. Dixon and I stating that the reason that it remained in pending is because after his inspection with Chip, he had plans to upgrade his septic. So that's why it was not a hard deny.
Any luck yet, Chip? No?
Mr. Mayor, may I ask?
Go ahead, Ms. Sylvester.
How many times has it been rented this summer?
20 times, 20 or 30.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask how many people you're advertising for? How many bedrooms are you advertising for?
I'm advertising for 5 bedrooms now.
Prior to the septic being remodeled?
Anywhere between 2 and 4. Well, again, so like, we're talking about semantics, and this is how our conversation was left off. Yeah, that's why I don't talk about stuff. It's much easier to deal in writing, which is why I'm saying something should have been, some clarification should have been issued, saying, hey, well, here's what's going on, you know?
I can't see the date on this, but it says there's a note under system status.
Oh, that's the 20th, that one.
Oh, yeah, that's, it, even on that, it says, according to MPCA, this is not an official compliance inspection. The Lakes Area Septic should have used a tank integrity form, not this form.
Because I don't think it has a septic field.
No, it does.
Okay. So
And what are we-
instead,
The addendum to the state inspection form that she filled out shows the drain field.
And I don't think it was working her up to standard and would not be accepted by the MPCA. So it was
Well,
just a tank.
then I have 8 years' worth of invalid compliance inspections.
Yeah, it kind of looks that way, but
so do we know for a fact that this septic compliance form that was correctly or incorrectly marked is incorrect? Do we have
I
city
can't find
evidence?
Sorry,
Pardon?
I can't find it. I'd have to call Amy to get it back because I know we've had a lot of conversation regarding this property going way back to last year.
I know.
And it was on our radar, knowing what was going on.
did we
So-
reduce the?
Jen, do you have that in your file?
Yes, that's what I just stated. Like I said, we had a concerned individual who has been approaching the city about this specific property since last year, before we even had our ordinance in place, and he made several complaints to the county, and the county did not take action on it.
Right.
So we have known about this.
Because the system is
since last
compliant,
year.
and they have the, you don't get to
So
decide
according
what's
to
compliant and
our,
what isn't.
according
Like,
to
we can't
our
just wing
planning
it.
and zoning,
It either is or it isn't. So either the inspection report says it's compliant or it says that it isn't. And all of the compliance inspection reports that have been done since I've owned the property have all said that it's compliant. And if they weren't, then the county wouldn't have issued.
Still, Chad, if it
license.
can be compliant for a 2-bedroom home, which it was made for, not a 4 or 5-bedroom home, just a 2-bedroom home,
Okay,
if that's what you think.
but we're talking about, this is yes or no. It's compliant or it isn't. If the system shows no sign of, which again, this is like irrelevant anyway. Like, the system showed no signs of leaking, seepage, or any dysfunction whatsoever, which is why every inspection came back as compliant.
Your septic field has failed.
That being
not built
said,
correct.
that being said, I believe that the city has a responsibility to communicate with applicants rather than just levying, egregious fines. If I have an application in, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect a response from the city.
So, It sounds like you're both corresponding, are you not, Chip? When you left, you said it was uncompliant,
He was
correct?
not compliant. He said, oh, I'll have to put a new septic in, it's gonna cost me a lot of money. I'm like, yep, you can't rent it until you put a new septic system in. That's how I left it.
And that was on what date?
The 5th,
Of?
June.
Okay. So,
That's not how I remember the end of the conversation. I do remember us talking about the outrageous expense that it was going to be to make this upgrade.
Chad,
and
is it-
before,
wait.
before July 30, or before whatever the date was that you received your letter, was there still communication from
No.
the city, from Jen, from Lori Conway?
No.
From Chip?
I've not heard one peep from anyone at the city since June 5th when we did our fire and safety inspections.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Well, I mean, it was indicated that your license was pending based on that determination, right?
Correct.
So it seems like, I mean, you're a smart guy, Chad, and I know you own a lot of, different properties. It seems like before you started advertising, that you would have, made sure that, it was, you were allowed to rent it. Or, would have made sure you had a license, a valid license.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ms. Sylvester, did you?
I didn't know you got your septic done. You thought you would have called me and say, hey, you want to come and do another inspection?
I don't think we've gotten whatever it's called, the certificate of installation yet. So this is just completed within the last couple of weeks.
Robin, go ahead.
Our planning and zoning, I'm sorry, Robin, I don't mean to interrupt.
You're
I
fine,
included, I included the certificate of installation, and our planning and zoning indicated that that has been picked up.
I was gonna say that, the certificate of installation is in this packet that Planning and Zoning in the City of Cross Lake did approve and adopt into our system.
Okay. Do I get a copy? Do they send a copy of that to me, or is it just?
I don't think from us, but I'm sure Amy Wanabo, who did it for you, would send you a copy, correct? Right, that's not our business to
Okay.
send you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who actually did the inspection after the excavator dealt with all that, so.
Go ahead, Robin.
I know as a homeowner, I'm not in the VRBO business yet, but as a homeowner, I need to make sure my house has got the right amenities to function with a number of bedrooms. I myself am putting in an extra drain field now, just in case I add on. I think it's your responsibility as a homeowner to be proactive in making sure that you have all your things in order. It sounds like there was some expectation you had for communication, but it sounds like there was also verbal communication. So you had every opportunity and every responsibility to take the lead. You followed through and actually completed what you needed to do. So I commend you on that. It's ready to go. You also rented 20 times this summer. You brought in a little bit of money and a lot of communication from May or maybe even March on. I stand with a fine, and I'm not sure how much.
Well,
but
right here it says that, Lori, our city administrator, already agreed to lower the fine from $3,000 to $1,000, maybe based on some of the, confusing communications. I think that's pretty generous, honestly. So I guess you know where I stand.
Bob?
Boy. Obviously, I think we have to somehow do some better communication, but I still think it's your responsibility, Chad, to follow through on these things. And I'm fine with reducing the fine, as Lori suggested.
Jamie?
I'm okay with reducing the fine, yeah.
I think, Chad, since you are operating in good faith and you're trying to work with the city and we're trying to resurrect the problem, I think the $1,000 is definitely way better than the $3,000. Now, I think we all have emphasized, even last month and this month, that continued better communication between the city of Cross Lake and our short-term rental owners is very vital to ensuring a smooth operation. But I think this whole confusion really falls on this incompliant or uncompliant septic certificate that was sadly marked wrong.
If it's marked wrong, then it means the last 9, 8 years of them were all marked wrong
You would
by
be
different
correct.
inspectors. So not just, it wasn't just Amy Wanabo.
When did you have the two bedrooms, Chad?
I never did. I bought it in I forget exactly what year it was, 2016, I think. And the 2 bedrooms, everything was already done.
So
And
then how are we advertising for 5 if it's a?
there's a loft over the garage that we,
Okay. I think there's general consensus here that across the board that the reduced fine is the administrative fine. And I think it's a lot better than 3,000.
yeah, I would agree with that.
And we're glad you're working with us and vice versa. We're trying to do it right. That's sadly where we're at.
I would urge the council to work with the SDR department there's just a lot of sloppy procedures. And I think that this all could have been avoided with a simple email
Yeah,
follow-up.
and I think this first year go around, we're sadly gonna have these growing pains and figuring it out. Towards the end of the year, I think it would be nice to go back and have a short-term rental conversation going into 2026 to see how the city can better assist and make it a little more smoother and have clear and concise instructions and communication out of City Hall. So I will be looking forward to that conversation and having you at that conversation, hopefully in December. But I think right now there's some clear consensus.
All right.
Do you have a license today now?
No, it's still pending status.
Okay.
What are we waiting on for his license, Jen?
It was pending reinspection. So now that he has a new septic system, Chip, he was gonna go out and do a reinspection once Chad rescheduled that.
Chip and Chad, have you rescheduled that yet?
No.
Okay, why don't you call?
I didn't know. Again,
Yep, let's call City Hall tomorrow. Get it scheduled.
all right, very good.
All right, is there a motion?
I move to lower the fine to $1,000.
There's a motion to lower the fine to 1,000. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
There's a second by Bob. There's a motion and a second to lower the fine to $1,000. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of administering the $1,000 fine signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
All right.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Chad. All right, next, Joshua Rose, where are you?
I am on Zoom.
All right, name and address, please.
Joshua Rose, I'm the owner at 37020 Staley Lane.
All right, Jen, give us the rundown.
Okay, Joshua Rose, I believe Melissa is also listed as an owner through parcel information through Crow Wing County, 37020 Staley Lane.
Okay.
This is another renting without a license. And advertisement was located on booking.com and VRBO in early July. The city attempted to contact the parcel owner, which is Josh and Melissa Rose, with certified mail, and it was returned to the city. Through Crow Wing County tax records, an additional potential owner was identified, Daniel and Jane Rose. Certified mail was sent to them, which resulted in eventual contact with Joshua. Joshua has been offered a reduced fine of $1,000. He states that he no longer intends to rent, and he has taken down his advertisement. You can see the attachments for the advertisements, the letters that were sent, and the response and the appeal from Joshua. Joshua stated that the mailing address that we had for him was incorrect. That is how we get all of our contact information through Crow Wing County GIS. So if that information is incorrect, we don't have any other means of contacting people. And this one was also sent a letter back in March notifying of the change that we are taking over as of January 1.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the information that Jen said is correct, and I've owned this property since 2021 and have been using it, renting it out as a short-term rental for income for my family. I've paid my licensing fee every year with Crow Wing County. I usually get an email from them when it's due, and I pay it, and that's usually in the middle of the summer. Obviously, it's changed to the city is operating it now, and I didn't receive any of that communication, as I told Jen. And then eventually they mailed something to my parents' house, and then they notified me, and then I reached out, try to figure out who to get in contact with right away. And basically I can't pay, reinstate my license until I pay this fine. And I thought that was a little unfair, given that I had just received the communication.
Did you try to renew your license through Crow Wing in the middle of the summer?
I did once I got the communication from Jen, or from my parents indirectly. Then I went in to do it and found out that I couldn't.
So you tried to go to Crow Wing County to get yours licensed, correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Did Crow Wing County tell you that the city of Cross Lake is now managing the short-term rentals, or no?
Yeah, I can't remember. I went through a change of command of talking to different people. I just remember the way I used to pay it, I couldn't do it, and I just had to figure out who to talk to do it. And then I found out I got a fine, and I was like, that doesn't seem right.
So I think there is some confusion here, Josh, like I stated in our email. So since City of Cross Lake has taken over, it's not a renewal any longer. It is a complete new application, which is why we sent out the letter detailing that to everybody. When people were contacting Crow Wing County, they were told to contact the City of Cross Lake, and we did not hear anything from you. We heard from several other people saying, hey, I just contacted Crow Wing County. And they said that you're taking over. So I don't feel like there was a lot of proactivity on your part until you received the certified letter once we were able to get in contact with you due to the incorrect information on Crow Wing County GIS.
Sure. Yeah, I don't dispute any of that. I'm just saying I never received any of that until just a week or two ago. So I never received any of the letters because of the wrong address. And then
Right. So like I said, that's your responsibility to have that updated so we can contact you. Because if we don't have the correct contact information for you and we are trying to repeatedly reach out, then we run into walls, which is why it took so long. So
Oh, you muted yourself on accident, Jen.
sorry, we were lucky enough to stumble upon the contact information for your parents to get a hold of them. We currently have another one that's pending. We've attempted 3 times now to contact them, and they don't have correct contact information listed. So we get to a point where we run into walls and we can't contact people if they don't have their information updated.
And Jen, you did say we used what Crow Wing County uses to send out tax statements, correct? I just want to
That is
reiterate
correct.
that.
Yes, Crow Wing County GIS is what we use first. And then when I don't have everything on there, there's another website that I use, Crow Wing County Tax Records Information, which is what produced the name of his parents is also listed.
Okay. So Josh, it sounds like you're not going to rent anymore, is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Oh, did I hear?
No.
Okay, I thought you
I'm
said
planning
you were
on
not.
renting.
Sorry.
Just the communication is all new this year, and I usually got an email from Crow Wing when it was due, and I just logged
Right.
in and it would pay it. So this is just a new communication process, and I'm just asking for some grace as we all get used to a new way of doing it, because I didn't receive any communication like I was used to receiving via email.
You know, it's so hard as a city for us to constantly be spending money to send out letters left and right. And so I understand what you're saying. The city did, on the first go-around, go and send notification letters to all the good standing short-term rental owners that are registered with Crow Wing County. So we did do it on our end. There is some owner responsibility to be had on your end as well. But Bob, I think you said you had a question?
Yeah, Josh, this address on Center Street in Rochester, is that not where Crow Wing County is sending your property tax statements?
Yet I no longer own that property.
Okay, but where does Crow Wing County send your property tax statements then?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, your responsibility as a homeowner to tell Crow Wing County where you're receiving your tax statement
Yeah, I agree.
and update that. So I get that there's this maybe form of communication. I feel like the majority of it kind of falls in your department here. As a homeowner, is there any other council members with any other questions or comments or concerns?
Well, I feel like ultimately it is the property owner's responsibility. You said you checked with Crow Wing and they said that, you know, Cross Lake was handling it now. So it seems like your next step would have been to contact City Hall to find out what you needed to do. And I think we are granting you some grace because we reduced the fine from 3,000 to 1,000. So, I mean,
I agree.
Yep.
Jamie?
I,
Sir, go ahead. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, but I just would appreciate understanding that the communication never got to me. And I agree, I'm totally responsible for updating everything, but I was used to communicating via email and paying my license every year somewhere around July. And that's just the rhythm I was in. I never received any communication.
So
What it boils down to is you would have received proper
Right.
communication if your address was correct. Like I sent you a copy of that letter a few times now. That was the letter that was originally sent out to you in March, and it has that wrong address on there. So we did, in good faith, attempt to contact you, and you were told by Crow Wing County that Cross Lake is taking it over. A quick Google search of Cross Lake City Hall short-term rental would have pulled up all the information that you needed to do. And again, in that letter has all the information on creating an online account and starting our application process, and you have yet to do that as of this date. So I feel that you need to take some responsibility for this, that you need to stay up to date as a business owner of what's going on in the city which you are running your business. So we tried, but we did not have the correct information.
Yeah.
So this could have been resolved if that address was correct.
Yeah,
Jamie, do
and
you have
I
any-
agree with you, Jen. I don't know if any of you guys still pay bills through the mail. I don't pay any bills through the mail. So I don't think that's an effective form of communication. I agree. I need to update my information. I have done that. I have now created an account on the city portal instead of the county. I'm just asking for some grace here as we get to a new system, and I've always been fully compliant in the past.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, I think he answered the question. He doesn't own 816 Center anymore. He still owns Stanley Lane property.
Yeah, but legally, Crow Wing County needs to send out tax statements to somewhere, regardless if you pay them in the mail or not.
Didn't own Stanley Lane property. Okay.
Go ahead, Robin, anything?
I don't have anything.
Okay, anyone else have any,
I don't.
no? Okay, is there a motion?
Yes. Make a motion that we honor the reduced fine of $1,000.
I'll second that motion.
Motion, there's a second for the reduced fine of 1,000. Is there any further discussion? Those in favor of the reduced fine of $1,000 signify by saying aye. Aye. Approved, or sorry, whatever. Motion approved.
You're having a tough night.
he's thinking about the Viking game.
Thinking about everything else. All right, let's go move right on into public forum. This time is reserved for those persons who have a desire to address the council and officially submitted by writing by Friday noon. Prior to the city council meeting, a request be placed on the agenda. Ms. Necko.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council. The Cross Lakers hosted a community visioning event on August 21st, 2025, with approximately 100 people in attendance. A dozen nonprofit organizations attended with information regarding their missions, and we're very thankful that they came and they had very good information to share. Speakers presented information regarding city issues, public safety services, National Loon Center, county road projects, parks and trails, and water quality. The audience was able to ask questions of the presenters and to participate in an exercise to post their wants, needs, and avoids. You have the raw data in this, in your packets. You have this, all that, that was raw data compiled from sticky notes that were placed on 3 separate posters for wants, needs, and avoids. And we were looking for, in the next 10 years, what would you like to see in Cross Lake? What do you want? What do you need? What do we need? What do you want to avoid? So a basic summary of our community visioning. Under housing and growth, people are looking for affordable workforce and senior housing. There were many people doing that, asking for that. To protect green space and to maintain our small town character. And I think that the housing has been an issue for a long time, and it is being worked on by many. The transportation and mobility section, people are looking for safe roads, sidewalks, bike trails, and local transportation for senior and seasonal worker focus. Under recreation and amenities, many people talked about pools, trails, winter activities, fitness, and entertainment for year-round use. Under businesses and services, they're looking for a diverse retail options, more public bathrooms, stronger communication tools, which I think communication is a big thing in our personal and professional lives. Under safety and environment, to enforce boating speed and rental rules, to improve emergency medical services, to preserve trees and Cross Lakes up north character. To go back, improving EMS services, we are encouraging people to write their letters in support of that, and there are many ways to be involved, which I will address in a few minutes. Things to avoid are big box stores, excess roundabouts and stoplights, storage facilities, over-clearing of trees, and over-commercialization. Again, these are things that the public has asked for in looking towards the next 10 years. So what are Cross Lakers doing with this information? The Cross Lakers' biggest takeaway is how to communicate, there's that word again, with residents, seasonal residents, and visitors on current, future, and existing projects and amenities. The Cross Lakers will post responses to the comments on Facebook on a weekly basis, one topic at a time, with links to the organization who may be able to provide further information. For instance, I did call Chip on a couple questions asking about notification of fires and evacuation plans. Those are already being done. So when people have a question like that, we can post on Facebook, this was a question, here's the answer, here's who you can call to get more information. So that is our goal of communication and how to put that forward. Another one would be the pools. People are asking for pools. Well, do they know that we do have 2 pools in Cross Lake, and you can go and you can do your water aerobics there. In fact, Whitefish Senior Living is going every Monday for an hour over to Whitefish and swimming. So how cool is that? So there are a couple pools in Cross Lake, and that is something that is being looked at and addressed. Another thing under transportation, you know, there's already something going on with a possible grant for a trolley system or different things like that that are being addressed. So those are something we can do on Facebook, but is that our best way of communication? We don't know. What is our best way? We don't have a local newspaper anyway, so we're looking for help, and like we mentioned this morning, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So how do we get the people to know all this information? We can put it out there the best we can, and we do have a lot of answers, and many of the questions are already answered of what people were asking for.
Yes.
And so we are looking toward getting that communication to people of, okay, you asked this question, well, here's the answer, and here's who you can call for more info. We feel that's our best avenue. On Facebook.com, we're just under Cross Lakers. We have our own Facebook page. We're going to further summarize this raw data and share it with the organizations and the local business community via email, and we'll post a link to the report on crosslakers.com. We'll continue to be a resource for the city in all aspects relating to our Cross Laker mission statement, which is to responsibly grow the community by providing a year-round, vibrant destination, connecting people to nature, while preserving its heritage and offering diverse recreation, employment, and housing options.
Good job, Pat.
Thanks. Any questions?
Thank you for your continued support and effort within that organization.
Yeah.
I
Does
think-
any council member want to just weigh in quick?
Well, I just think that your idea to put forth the questions that were asked, and a lot of them are the same, or a lot of the topics are the same.
Right.
So I
This,
think,
what I just gave you is a very condensed version
Yep.
of,
Right.
yeah.
right, and I mean, and a lot of the things, as you said, they're already being done, or they're in the works.
Right.
So.
And it's getting that knowledge out to the people.
Yep.
And hopefully, questions that were asked that night, so the activity took place all that night, and many of the questions were probably answered by the speakers that were there, so.
Bob, go ahead.
Pat, this is great information, thank you. Good food for thought. As to your comment about getting the information out to people, that's a tough question. I talk to a lot of seniors, people even older than me, believe it or not.
You're as old as dirt.
I know it. They don't subscribe to the paper, they're not on Facebook, and they don't even do email.
Right.
So how do we get
Well, we had a
information out?
banner for a month
Smoke
out in front of the Chamber Building.
Okay.
Advertising our event, and we had posters all around town.
Well, and some people
Well, I-
claim they didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I know
Some people
about,
did,
Some people
Jackson.
claim they didn't even see the posters around town, so.
Hello, someone.
It's really hard to,
I understand that, but I'm talking about as far as commenting, letting them know about these different things.
Yeah.
Letting them know there's 2 pools in town, whatever. How do we communicate that to them when,
Yeah,
if they're off the radar pretty much?
yeah. Well, and it takes them seeking it out. You can lead a horse to
Oh,
water.
I know,
You
I
know, and
know.
if they want to know about it, they are going to need to seek some information out. So by coming to the city council tonight, and we very much appreciate our relationship with the city council and how
Thank
we're
you.
developing that along the way and figuring out the boundaries and who's doing what, when, where, and why.
Yep.
And we think that relationship is great. And so the Cross Lakers are always looking for projects to do. What is our next new project? Well, the communication piece right now seems to be the most important project. So we're going to be putting that out on Facebook, and hopefully people can share that and maybe talk to other people who aren't on Facebook and see how that goes.
Pat, we appreciate that relationship too. Go ahead, Robin.
I just want to say great work. Love hearing the results. It sounded like it was a great event. Sorry I missed it.
Yeah,
Nice job.
yeah, thanks. Okay.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much. All right, folks, we're coming in on the 7 o'clock hour and we're just getting to D. So let's move right along. All right, the consent calendar. Does anyone have any comments, questions, concerns about the consent agenda?
No.
Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion by Jamie, there's a second by Bob. Any further discussion? Those in favor of approving the consent calendar signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, Peter, come on up. Make it quick.
That is my plan as I sat there for the first hour. There are just 2 things I wanted to share. One is I was asked to do an update on the Phase 1 at the community center, but before I get into that, I handed out a letter that was put into the newspaper 2 years ago when we had a group of people come from Minneapolis and the Colorado area and use our pickleball courts for a week period of time. And they stayed in rental places here in the hotels and ate at the restaurants and had a great time with that experience. So they are actually, we just found out last week, planning to come back again this October.
Very cool.
And I just wanted to share that with the group. This is their 3rd visit to Cross Lake. They like us that much.
Are the numbers growing at all?
We'll find out when they come here.
Okay.
But I suspect that they're continuing to grow their group, and
I'm sure you'll give us an update.
I will give you an update.
That's a given.
My
And that's
brother-in-law plays in Brainerd, and he just is raving about Cross Lake, so nice job.
Thank you. It's good to hear that news. And we hear it actually quite a lot from people. My purpose on paper there was to give you an update on the Phase 1 of the master plan at the community center. And I'm doing that in my role as the chairperson for the Park, Recreation, and Library Commission. And again, the biggest piece, I'll jump right to the end of it, which is that we are ready to do a grand opening this weekend on Saturday at 11 o'clock at the community center. We want to open that up to the public to come. We'd love the council to be in attendance there. Come celebrate what we've got already in place. Come park in the new parking lot
Ooh.
Check that out. And again, we will be speaking at that time about some things that I would have normally shared with this group, but it's more, my intention is to get you to come and see it. Come and watch what's going on there, look at the new courts, let's see how they're functioning. Come play a game.
I was gonna say, maybe Rob and I will hit us a few balls back and forth.
All right, we'd love that.
We'll get Chad.
Grandbabies, but
We'll
yep,
get Chad
we'll do
up
it.
here.
And if you need it, I'll leave my notes in your.
Awesome, Peter. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think our solar gal is on yet because she's in Vegas for a work conference, so we're just going to go right into a resolution for accepting donations. All right, so we have donations from the Steve Rowe Memorial Fund for $610 from the fire department, and then the Cross Lake Firefighters Relief Association for $720 for RJ Cool Gear Extractor. Is there a motion to accept?
I'll move to accept the donations.
Sandy moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Jamie. Those in favor of accepting the donation signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Recommendation request to issue proposals for RFP cleaning services. So this is just a standard RFP for January 1st to see if anyone will bid to clean City Hall, or to clean our buildings. So is there a motion to approve?
I'll approve.
There's a motion to approve by Robin. There's a second by Bob. Any further discussion?
We have cleaners now, right?
We do have cleaners now, yes. There's been.
I think we can do better.
We think we can find better. All right, so there's a motion, a second. Those in favor?
Just a question, did you say due by January 1st?
Or they would start
They'll be
January
appointed?
1st. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They would start January 1st. I think in here is when they need to be back by, right? City on the, yeah. Usually RFPs go out for what, a month? Yeah. So just a standard month.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, standard month. There's a motion, there's a second to approve the RFP. Those in favor of approving the RFP signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. All right, this is, next, I threw on there hours of City Hall. So this was an ongoing conversation from the summer hours that were 7:30 to, what, Char? Or what was it, 8:30?
The
Help me
hours
out.
were regular,
Yeah,
except on
exactly. 7:30 to
Fridays.
4:30, except Fridays, and then you guys would rotate.
The office hours still were 8 to 4:30 during the
Correct.
week.
But you guys were here 7.
We were
right.
early,
They were early. So for the
So we
summer, they
closed at
wrote.
12:30 on Fridays.
Right, so for the summer, they
No, we didn't
wrote.
close, there
Right.
was still someone here.
Exactly. So for the summer, they rotated Fridays off. So there was still someone always here on a Friday, all the way through the day to, aid people when they came into City Hall. We said we were gonna do it just for the summer, and then city staff came forward and wanted it done all year round. But going forward, they wanna shut down at 12:30 and just be done. There was a poll taken just to see what council's appetite was. Council responded individually to the city administrator to see what the appetite was. My understanding, now this is just me, this is not against anybody else or whatever, that it was going to be coming back to a council discussion. It did not, so I pulled it back and want to just have an open council conversation with it. I don't care if we go, if the three go the other way again to continue summer hours and close at 12:30. If that's the wish of the council, that's the wish of the council. But I just think we need to just have an open conversation about this, is because this is how we operate City Hall, and we are here to serve the public.
My feeling was originally,
Yep.
given the poll, was that I thought that was fine as long as there was someone here, at least someone in the office, until the end of the day on Friday, because a lot of people can't get up here till Friday afternoon. And,
Yep.
and so that maybe they could just rotate.
Right, that's a possibility. My thoughts was just doing the summer hours. We tried to do it this summer. I've heard from a few people that, they would try to come into City Hall to do planning and zoning work on a Friday afternoon. And let's say if it was Administrator Conway or Clerk Nelson or, the treasurer, that they couldn't be assisted in planning and zoning, and they would have to come back. So I'm an advocate of back to the way it should be, but the back to the way it used to be was 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. If city staff wants to take Friday off and they can come up with a rotation schedule and burn up vacation, that's great, because that saves City Hall from having to pay out vacation at the end of the year. It forces employees to actually take time for themselves and use what's earned. So that's where I'm at. Anybody, any other council members, hop in.
I actually think that it's important. Lori, did you guys keep a log of activity in the afternoon? And so I have a couple questions before you speak, Lori. Did anybody check based on?
Actually, I think Shar kept a little list when it was busy. I know that when I worked, I had one busy Friday. Other than that, out of the 4 that I worked, I did not.
Okay, thank you. Based on our statutory classification, does the administrator get to have the right, and I agree, transparency is super important, but I just want to really understand the role and responsibility with administrator and council in this matter.
You know, there was a conversation, there's been multiple conversations of a few agenda items that have been maybe questioned, and I got to tread really, really carefully on this, of what the roles and the responsibilities are of the city council and the city administrator. And that's very important, and in which Ms. Conway and I have had numerous conversations, and I addressed that it would be important for the personnel committee to meet so there's less anxiety on her end and more of a knowledge on our end of what roles and responsibilities are of the city council versus the administrator. Having some limited governmental experience myself from city council and just being politically engaged, I was operating the same way that we operated before Ms. Conway was here, where stuff was sent out as RFPs and big topics were usually discussed by the city council first before a decision was made. So that is the way I continued to run City Hall as mayor, not micromanaging anybody whatsoever. Just the fact of that is what I have known, and that is what we have done in the past and for past practice. So that is the only reason why I personally brought back the conversation, because I believe it needs to be a transparent conversation in City Hall about how we operate our hours to serve the taxpayers who elected us and pay our city staff salary.
Thank you. Lori, how did the lower staffing schedule work for the summer? I mean, other than a few people having some struggle with planning and zoning, overall, reducing staff levels on a Friday, or so giving folks a flex schedule, does that work for you?
It worked. It actually worked really great. It really boosted morale. It gave, in the comments of one employee, it felt like I had a very long weekend. All the work has been completed. There was no, there were no bickerings. It was just so nice.
So the flex schedule that you had for the summer with limited staff, but having the whole building open for the full Friday worked for you? Worked for the team?
It absolutely did.
Okay. I would be in favor of continuing that schedule.
Jamie?
I think there's a couple things to note. One is we ran a very limited lean planning and zoning staff for the summer. My expectation is that we've now solved that issue. We have an administrator starting here soon. We've had our second coordinator start. So I'm in favor of, I think we need to be open until 4:30. I don't care if it's one person or 4 people here, but I think we need to be open until we know exactly what happens after 12:30. I would really like to see, numbers, not we have a little, we have a few, we have some, we have a couple. I'm really in favor of if it's one person that's coming in here versus, a half a dozen or a dozen or whatever the number may be.
And Jamie, I just wanted to say, I heard you when you said that. And so we are starting to tally at the front desk. We talked about it as a group. Unfortunately, I've been out sick and I haven't put that tally sheet up, but we talked about it with all the employees that I want actual numbers.
Yeah.
of people that come to the counter. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Lori, I have a question regarding, it seems to me like the department is probably most vital to have a representative there is planning and zoning. Because when people come up, or applying for permits or applying, I think some people can't get up here till Friday afternoon. And then if they leave on Sunday, what's their, there's no one available to help them out with planning and zoning. So that's my only concern about that, of maybe, because we're going to have 3 employees in planning and zoning, so maybe, we need to have them rotate so that there's someone available to help with those particular issues. And I don't know, Lori, if you can comment on that, or if that's the...
Yeah. So then I think if that is the wish of the council, I, of course, will implement that. What I would then suggest is that it be split into 2, administrative and planning and zoning, and not everybody go into a rotational basis, but by department. That way someone is covered at each counter.
Yep. I think that would be great. And I respect the fact that everyone wants to get out on, early on Friday, and, that's, not up for debate, I'm sure, and I want the morale to be, high with the city staff. So.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I think we have to run the city like we run a business. And we have an obligation to the citizens, the residents of Cross Lake. And now we will have 3 people in planning and zoning that can rotate. And then also, as Lori mentioned, we've got people in administration that can rotate. So you can have 2 people here on that Friday. If we're going to reduce the hours, I think we have to at least do that.
My only fear is going down the road, and if we have administration doing it, what's going to stop the union for city works? You're going to have limited staff on a Friday when there's, crap hits the fan at the sewer plant. You're going to have the union from the community center that are going to want to come down. You're going to have Parks and Rec that's going to want limited hours, and then it's all gone.
We can't let our plow drivers off at 12 o'clock on Friday.
So this is why I'm...
Well, I do want to interject that the Park and Recreation has asked to keep their 2 guys on 410s. And I agreed with TJ, as long as he is feeling that his department is covered, that they could do those 410s.
Until the
410s
snow
and off
flies.
Friday?
Until the snow flies. We've been testing it out this summer. We're rotating Fridays and Mondays. I have 1 guy. It has worked so far. But we will not do that in the winter when we have to plow. It will not work in the winter.
I guess I was just under the assumption at the beginning of the year that we were doing this as a solid for our employees for the summer, and now I just feel like it's being taken advantage of. So you guys clearly see where I am. Maybe I'm old school and regimented, but I firmly believe City Hall should be open from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday with a full staff. If you want to take off, burn your vacation.
Lori, do you feel like you could, I just feel like that we have a lot of great ideas here at the table, but we're also not leading the departments. We're not also seeing the community coming in. I think we're all saying it's important to be open all 5 days. Super important for our constituents to be open all 5 days and have expertise in the office to answer the questions that they need answered. But I still go back to letting the administrator come to us and say, this is what I'd like to do then. If we've now told her that we want it open 5 days and staffed with expertise, bring back a staffing model that works for her, works for the team. I just think that's fair.
I understand that. The city administrator can make recommendations. Do I think that the city administrator, she can make recommendations, but I believe it's the city council's role to either approve or deny recommendations based on the community needs. I don't think necessarily that the administrator can dictate the hours of operation without council approval.
Has anyone checked with the league to find out what the...
I asked the league, and I think Ms. Conway also asked the league and asked our attorneys, and we both have 2 differing of opinions.
And TJ, did you ask us to go to 410s? I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, but it's an example of allowing the leader to lead and making sure the staffing is met.
I asked Lori and she approved it.
And it's working.
For my staff, yes.
Thank you for being the leader.
Shar, do you have any input? Since you work in the office?
Go ahead. I'm not upset. We all go the other way, that's fine. It went that way.
If you have questions, I would answer them.
Yeah, good call.
Did you feel confident that, you know, the needs of the public were being met on Fridays?
I did, yes.
I mean, if
And
that,
I did keep track myself when I worked a Friday of how many phone calls actually came in and how many people came in, and it was very few.
Can we, I'm just proposing that maybe we do this on a experimental basis, you know, during the winter and see how it goes. And if, you know, we have a lot of public outcry and objection, that we could maybe reconsider it, but that's just an idea.
I think we're talking about a compromise here.
I think we're talking right now. I mean, I see where the 4 are, and I'm fine with that. If you 4 want to take it that way, it's majority rules. My power is just as equal as yours and yours. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I am just saying where I am at, and I am strong on my decision. If you, go ahead.
I think it's an improvement, though, having 2 people there.
Oh, I agree.
Versus
I
just
agree.
one.
I fully agree.
I feel as long as each department is represented with someone with some expertise, then I think that's fine.
I fully agree. Are we,
Can I add one thing to that, though? Emergencies do come up, and maybe that one person that is going to be designated for that Friday is going to be sick, and we're not going to have somebody in planning and zoning.
Jackson will fill in.
yeah.
I know, but that's an exception.
Right.
And then what are the chances that that's going to create a situation?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the public needs to be aware that there could be instances when planning and zoning is not here,
Right.
and their needs are not going to get met, and we don't want people in here screaming
No,
at the other employees that are here
But-
that they can't be helped.
At least hopefully there's one person here that can
Correct.
explain that. So-and-so is out
Absolutely.
sick today, and,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, no, go ahead. I mean, if you want
I feel that would be my authority if someone is short in that and someone came to me and said, hey, I would like to take a vacation day, and then somebody else in, say, my department has taken a vacation day. And, you know, I think that I need to look at that as an individual basis, but as long as we're covered, yes.
You're spot on, Lori. You're spot on. Go ahead, make a motion. Unless there's.
One other, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is the feeling? Do we need Lori to come back and bring us her recommendation? Or do we want to just say that, we go back to our original conversation a couple months ago, we said we want all 5 days covered, and then let Lori and the directors manage the schedule to make sure it's staffed for the constituents that are coming in.
That wasn't what,
That's not what we
That's not
said.
what,
that's not what was.
that was
agreed
not,
upon.
no.
We gave specific hours.
Specific hours.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Do you want Lori to come back and give us her recommendation on specific hours?
No.
Or do you want to make a decision here?
No, we need to make a decision.
I think, Lori, if your recommendation is what we've just been discussing, then we don't need to go through the formality of you presenting that. I think, we're kind of on the same page, except maybe Jackson, so.
Yeah, which is fine.
Well, that is what I heard that you wanted, so of course I will implement what you want.
So, make a motion.
I'll make a motion that City Hall is open all 5 days, staffed, with the ability for the administrator to work through flex schedules to ensure that constituents have services rendered when they come to the counter.
Yeah, I'll second that.
There's a motion, there's a second for flex schedule on a Friday. Those in approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Opposed. 4-1. Can we take what was
My
the?
question was, it didn't say, the motion didn't say Friday.
Didn't say
It
Friday.
was just flex scheduling.
I was just going to ask for
Sorry, we've been
clarification.
talking Friday, so I thought that was automatically assumed.
I think it should be.
It should
I
be.
was trying to jump in, but then we just.
Sorry.
It really doesn't have to be Fridays. It can be a Monday. I mean, if you spread it out to more days, you have more staff in the office. So leave it up to the administrator and the directors.
I am a big fan for Friday only. We need to have all 4 departments of staff here at least Monday through Thursday.
I agree.
I mean, those are critical days. Well, can we,
So I just want to know what the hours, the building hours.
so it's the same thing that it is now.
No,
It's
because
8 to 4:30. Friday, you guys rotate.
Monday through Friday.
Right, you guys, Monday through Friday.
But for residents, Monday through Friday,
Monday through
8 to
Friday,
4:30.
8 to 4:30.
Thank
You guys rotate out and figure out whatever your schedule is so you can have Fridays off. I'm a huge fan of Fridays only. I don't know where the other council stands on that.
I agree, otherwise it just gets out of control.
Exactly. Okay, so let's make a new
Amended emotion.
amended emotion.
amend the emotion.
Okay, what's your amendment?
To be open Monday through Friday for constituents from 8 to 4:30 with the flex schedule of Friday through the administrative management.
Bob, do you, or Jamie, do you amend your second? Or who seconded that? Sandy?
Yeah.
Sandy?
Well, okay, but I'm a little bit confused now. So are the employees still going to go 7:30 to?
It doesn't matter what they go to, it's staffed, it's open.
Okay. Yep.
Right?
Yes,
It matters the time that they go from, 8 to 4:30. That matters.
No.
But wouldn't I then, by Robin's motion?
What?
I'm
No,
sorry.
I second the amended.
Okay, yeah, I mean, right. Okay, so there's amended, there's a second to the amendment. Those in favor of the amended motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. So I still voted opposed, but I voted aye for that to get it through. Can we tear down the city hall hours because those? Thank you. Please take them down and specify what it is instead of just saying we're closed at 12:30. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next, the agenda.
We did do that one.
No, I'm still on me.
Oh,
I'm still on
on
mayor's
you.
report. We're still
Oh.
on me. Or actually, we're gonna flip-flop. I think Bella, are you on there? Or on the Zoom? By chance?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Do you want to share your screen and go through just the solar stuff with us, please?
Yes, I'm happy to. What would you like to look at first?
Why don't you just talk about the grant and the timing of the grant?
Okay, happy to do that.
And just to be clear, because I know there are some questions, the work that would be being done if we did proceed with this would be done by local businesses. This is just their consulting firm that they work with. Is that a right way to say it, Chip? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's not letting me share. It says the host disabled sharing services.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk through it if that's
Well-
easier.
Sure. Why don't we just talk through it? That's fine. Let's just start at, what's our first building? City Hall here.
Yeah. Let me pull that up.
So what's the total project? What's the longevity? What's the return?
Yeah. I don't know if everybody's had a minute to look through this, but basically the state of Minnesota has put out a grant for solar, up to $112,000. So basically if the project goes over 160,000, anything up to 160,000, 70% of the project cost is covered by the state. And it'll be reimbursed through invoices during the construction process. So City of Cross Lake would be expected to pay the project cost up front, and then the state would cover 70% of that through the build process. The other 30% would be covered by the federal government in a direct payment, and that would come after the project is up and running in the form of a check. So roughly, it depends on the fiscal year when Cross Lake's fiscal year ends, but as soon as you submit the 990T form for each site, you would receive the reimbursement payment within roughly 6 months. That's kind of the overview, but looking at the site specifically, City Hall, the sizing. Jackson, do you want me to get into sizing or just kind of financials?
And just financials, what's the benefit in the long run? How much would we be saving?
Sure, okay. Total project cost for City Hall would be 210,900. You would get 183,648 of that back in year one. The total project would be covered and paid for through savings within year 5 and over a 30-year. We lay it out for 30 years because it's warranted for that time period. The savings are $335,199.
Okay. Once again, this is just overflow from 2024, right, Chip, when you initially started looking into this, and then this grant opportunity came forward, so that's why the conversation came around again. So just, go ahead, Robin.
I'd like this, really, to dive into this at the Public Works Committee. I think it'd be important for them to be engaged.
Totally. Just once again, from the last council, this is just the information that's being presented to us from literally asking her to run the numbers. So that she's just presenting it to us first, and of course, it would have to go through the process.
And it would go through the process of an RFP for others to solicit as well?
Chip?
Or is this a state contract vendor? Or how is this?
Bella, can you answer that? Do we have to get a
we-
RFP out?
We are a state contract vendor, yes. The grant does not require any sort of RFP. However, if the city of Cross Lake feels most comfortable going out for bid, that is totally up to your discretion. It just would prolong the time period, and there is a quick turnaround necessary for this grant as there's only a certain amount of funding available. Like Jackson said, we're a contractor. Cedar Creek Energy, we have been around 18 years doing solar. We're out of Blaine, Minnesota, and we work with Jim's Electric in your area who would then build the project. So they had asked us to put together some budgetary, and that's, like Jackson said, that's what the purpose of this is to get it in front of you, because this grant is it's a really, really great deal, and it's not going to be around much longer. It's filling up very quickly.
What's the deadline for the application?
It is November 14th, but it is on a first come, first served basis.
Okay.
And most cities like you all are looking at least 4 sites. So if each site's getting 112,000 the maximum, there's only about 78 sites that can be chosen. And if each city's looking at least 4 sites, it doesn't leave us many.
So is this this is not the full grant agreement, this is the data behind it. Do you have a draft of the full grant application that you could share with us?
Yes, yep, it's on the state's website.
Okay.
I can send it to Jackson, he can forward it on.
Disseminate it. Sure.
So do you want to move on to the fire department building? Or?
Yeah, I guess let's just go through each, you know what? What's the total project cost for all, I think we did 3 buildings, correct, Chip? We talked about City Hall, Fire Hall, well, hold on. City Hall, Fire Hall, and then Community Center, and we nixed the
Water
sewer
treatment?
plant because it was too much, my understanding. Even though all 4 proposals made it into the packet,
Okay.
when Chip and I had this conversation a month ago with Bella, we decided to get rid of the sewer system because I believe it was either too much or I forget what the reason was, but. Do you have the total project cost, Bella, for all 3?
I can do that really quickly here. The the water treatment was 160,900. Just adding up.
As we're all doing quick math.
I think we were doing the community center, city hall, and fire hall.
Fire hall, correct.
It's close to 570,600 then?
And we were getting roughly back like 70%, I think, from the government, or what
You
was
would
it?
you would get the
60.
whole. You would get 70% back from the state, and then the other 30 back from the feds. So it would be almost 100% covered. The only thing that wouldn't be covered is any of the projects that are over 160,000, which I think would only end up being
Not that much.
2.
Right. I think a difference of like 50 or 80 grand or something like that. Once again, this is
Yep.
just for council conversation, so whatever.
Yeah, so
Go ahead, Chip.
just like Bella said, it's kind of time sensitive because everybody's filling out the grants as we speak and they're submitting them. We don't know if these grants will be available again.
Right.
So just like with the city hall, I'm sure it all kind of works the same way. We would get our money back in savings within the first 5 years?
Yes. And then we also get the money back in a check form.
Yeah.
So Lori, from a perspective of the city's cost, so we'll upfront it, we'll get reimbursed 12 to 24 months later. Where are you thinking the funds would come from to pay our portion and then,
I think we'd be reimbursed before that.
no. Do you get the funds after, correct, Bella?
Yep, 70% would come during,
The same
as
year,
we
though.
invoice you.
Yeah, after we incur the expense. The city will upfront the expenses, correct, Bella?
Correct. Yep, so,
Yeah.
yep, you would pay for it and then you would invoice the state to reimburse you.
But we would get it before 2 years. We'd get our money back from the state before 2 years.
Well, with the federal CFDA
Correct.
number, it could take longer since there's Fed money, correct?
30% is Fed.
Yeah, 30% is Fed, and you have a lot of requirements, and it takes longer for feds to reimburse. I'm just trying to be planful of the city's obligation up front, and then our net investment. Lori, do you have an idea where we would fund this from?
Well, we are cash strong, and I have said that at the last couple budget meetings. So we have the cash. So when we do this, it would be amending a current budget to expense some of our cash that we have holded. So we could take it from the telephone company or from the main line account.
As long as we don't levy it. Okay.
And upon further investigation today, we make roughly, I think it was 160,000 from our 4M, or 170,000 from our 4M investment account. So we could easily pay for it just on the
However,
interest that we make off of 4M.
However, that money, Jackson.
Right.
For interest is already accounted for in the general fund each year.
Yes, some gets reallocated,
But ultimately, the money.
but ultimately
Placed.
it would be paid for and we would get it
Yeah,
back.
okay. Well, it seems,
This might be a silly sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jamie.
Have we asked Crow and Co-op Power what their thought is?
Was it Jim?
I might have last year. Nothing as of this year.
We were just
Jim's
looking-
Electric,
we were-
Jim's Electric has been doing a lot of them in the area,
Okay.
and he doesn't pay a dime for his power. He actually gets paid back
Through Crowing Power pays.
through
him
Crowing
back.
Power.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about this more on budget if you wanted to, because you have time to read this. And if you have any questions, we can reach out to Bella.
Yeah, that's why there's not even a council action on
Right.
this tonight.
Yeah, it was
It's
just discussion.
I know, I'm just
Brought more
making sure
information,
we
and we know Bella's out of
reiterate.
town, so
do we know what the longevity of the solar panels are?
they're warranted 30 years, correct, Bella?
Yep, they're warranted so that in year 30, they'll be producing 87.4% of what they produced in year 1.
Okay,
But we are in competition with other cities, so we need to get on this?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't want to drag our feet too much.
no.
I mean, I'm not a green freak by any means, but I think this would be a good investment for City Hall, or for the city of Cross Lake. I mean, you can store solar power and use it now, whereas before you couldn't. And if we're getting paid to do it, what the hell?
It's a local company who's
Right.
actually doing the work
Right.
when they will be,
Exactly.
when they will be paid.
So this is something we can actually utilize and use and lower the levy and the operating costs for the city of Cross Lake.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Lori, when's our next budget meeting? Isn't that coming up in the next?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, this week, right?
Wednesday morning.
Yeah, can we bring this up at budget? Okay.
Can we add that to the agenda, Lori?
Yes, I'll have Shar add that to the special council meeting that's been scheduled.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you. And then if we can get Bella, the grant application so I can read through it, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, Bella, I think that's actually all we need. Sorry if I wasted your time, but thank you for hopping on.
Happy to. Reach out
Thank
with any
you.
questions.
Yeah, does
Yep.
anyone else have
Have a
any
good night,
last
everyone.
questions before she hops off?
Not for her, but for,
Okay, thanks, Bella, appreciate it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Any other council conversation?
Could we talk to the two commercial buildings that have solar panels on them now and see what their thought is?
So Chip and I were talking with the Lutheran Church, and they totally pay for the electric, correct? Or they have a computer or something that shows, yes.
It shows how much they're gaining power, generating, and then saving and all that.
So,
Okay.
once again, just for discussion.
Okay.
All right, next is agenda. Let's see if we can find it in here. I just think for smooth of ease, for
Smooth of ease.
first,
F1, yeah.
for City Hall, I probably,
Approving the
Can someone have
decertification
F1?
of the tax increment.
no, we're still on mayor's report here. I added hours in agenda at the beginning of the meeting. Right. They all were thinking I was somewhere else. So, just discussing our city council agenda. Shar, do you have the handout over there? The memos were, not the other one. Whatever, we'll talk about it later. This whole meeting, coming up to this meeting was an absolute cluster, so that's why I'm a little discombobulated. So I do apologize for not running an efficient meeting tonight, but we will skip that. City Administrator's report, take it away.
Okay. Okay, just so you have in front of you a resolution approving the decertification of tax increment financing district number 19. This was a taxing district that should have been done with collections in February 1st of 2024. This came about as being noticed when we were preparing the budget. I couldn't get my numbers to balance, so I reached out to Mary Ipple from Taft Law Firm, who is formerly from Briggs and Morgan, and found out that we need to decertify the financing district.
That only takes a motion, correct?
It just takes a resolution, yes, a motion
And
to
then I
accept
believe
the
we're
resolution.
cutting a check, or there's a check that would have to be cut.
Okay, so in addition to that, we cut a check to Midwest Properties, and we were able to recall that check. And then also, since this was decertified back in February 1st of 2024, there were two checks that were issued to Midwest Properties, both in the amount of $6,560.34, which I have requested as a return from them, and we have received that check back. So once this is decertified and our accounts are in balance, then I will report that amount to the county. The county will then redistribute it to the 3 taxing districts.
Awesome.
Just need a motion? I'll make the motion to accept the resolution approving the declaration of tax increment financing district number 1 through 9 of the city of Cross Lake.
I'll second that.
There's a motion, there's a second. Those in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. The second reading and approval of the ordinance naming an unnamed road as Sunup Trail. Do either one of you want to give a little update on that? Okay. Those in favor, or, pardon me?
Also the approval of publishing it in the summer.
Correct. Is there a motion?
I'll move to pass an ordinance amending Chapter 42, naming an unnamed road as Sunup Trail.
I'll second.
There's a motion, there's a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Public Works Commission. Pat, you're up.
All right, first thing on the list is the discussion of Simonson Lumber. that we had, that the city sewer connection, the extension to connect has expired. After discussion with the Public Works, the city will need to pursue Simonson to get either connected. They have been given 3 years to connect with 2 one-year extensions. They need to get connected now or show progress. We need a
I fully
motion.
agree. They've been given so many opportunities and so many extensions, it's time. So, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to request the connection or, are we doing the and/or file for the permit?
If they file for a permit showing
For the
that they're
building
gonna
permit.
build, then, otherwise it just keeps dragging on, so.
So just, we want to ask for the connection then.
Action.
Okay.
So is there any, what if they don't?
I'm gonna say there's no recourse. There
Is there
needs to
any
be some
recourse?
kind of recourse there. What was the initial, I remember we did this last year. What was the initial cost again? Weren't we gonna charge them like $400 for a meter or something?
They
paid-
have a
Or
meter.
a tracker?
They
Or,
paid for the water meter, right?
They have a meter, and they've
Yeah.
been paying monthly charges
okay.
based
what's-
on their water usage.
What's the normal fee for people not hooking up to our sewer that we did on 66? Was there any penalty?
No. Everyone has hooked up.
But was there a penalty?
The penalty is to start charging
Okay, okay,
the monthly fee.
okay.
So if they don't get a hookup, then they're going to be,
And they don't have a connection charge. Their connection charge is covered. So, I mean, I don't know what we do. I mean, we want them to connect because we want to keep our waters clean, but I don't know if the attorney has an idea of how we get them to connect. I don't know.
I'm sure we'll have to hear back on that, but Jordan, do you have any idea?
I'd have to look into it.
Sounds good.
So, should we amend the motion to say we'd look for Jordan to look at our legal ramifications of requiring connection? I mean, we could say we want them to connect, but if we don't know the legal ramifications.
Or just ask Lori and Jordan to work together on the legal thing and have Lori come back to us with a recommendation.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Still, let's make a motion to tell them they have to connect. And then,
Okay, I'll make the motion to have the city send them a notice that they must connect
with penalties to be determined.
with penalties to be determined.
Perfect.
Thank you, Sandy.
there's a motion. Sandy, is that a second?
Yep.
There's a second by Sandy. Those in favor of approving that signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
All right. Phil, did you want to talk about Harbor Lane, or you want me to just do it? All right. Harbor Lane, as you all know, is pretty much 100% done. The value of work completed today was $481,625 and 87 cents. We retained 5%, $24,081.29. Of the work completed by contract, Cross Lake has made the previous payment of $103,183.73. The amount to pay is $354,360.85.
Awesome. I'm glad that project's done and everything's come out to spec. Someone wants to make a motion to pay that final.
I will make the motion to make the final payment, pay request number 3 in the sum of
Not
300.
final.
Or, sorry, not
Not
final.
final.
Not final.
Not the final?
No, this,
Corrected.
we still have one more to go.
I make a motion to approve the pay request number 3 in the amount of $354,360.85.
There's a motion to pay the bill. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a second. There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the bill signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
All right, and the last one is the Rolling Woods Road. Me and Phil have been up there. Basically, got everything done, correct, Phil?
Yeah, just need to make sure that grass, that we don't have that erosion.
Right, we just got a little erosion problem we can deal with, and he's got some money in
Escrow.
that'll cover any expenses on that, so it's up to you guys if you want to
Perfect.
proceed with the road.
everything matched out, so.
Well, I'll move to approve the acceptance of Wilderness Parkway based, based on the conditions that are included.
There's a motion to approve Wilderness Parkway. Is there a second?
I will second.
There's a second by Ms. Sylvester. Those in favor of, or sorry, is there any further discussion? Those in favor of approving Wilderness Parkway signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
When do we officially take that over today? Okay.
Awesome. There you go. All right. You're up there, Sarge.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your packet is a resolution in support of the police department to apply for a $50,000 Sourcewell grant relating to public safety. If this passes, it's a first come, first served basis. I'm not going to guarantee that we're going to get it, but adding another officer this year has caused us to keep back one of our older squad cars, which is up to like 140,000 miles. It has cost us some repairs this year already. So if we are awarded this, we would put this towards purchasing a squad car in addition to the 2026 budgeted squad, and part of it would go to outfitting that as well.
Sweet.
Well, I absolutely move to approve the resolution to apply for a $50,000 Sourcewell Public Safety Impact Funding.
I'll second it.
Oh, there's a motion. There's a second. Is there any other discussion? Bob, we'll give it to Bob. Motion by Sandy, second by Bob. Any further discussion?
I'm just curious, when will you find out if you've been awarded?
The deadline's end of the month. I think it's like end of October. We should find out.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Do you need the contract at all, Robin, or the?
No, thank you.
Okay, gotcha. So there's a motion, there's a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Now you can finally get your Mustang.
Char, can you please go run and get that page for me? The agenda one that I sent you at like 5:30, the change. I want to get that done.
There's something else on the end added? There's something else on the end added?
Just on the agenda, just the agenda etiquette, because there's always confusion as we come in here into, Friday at 12 o'clock and Monday at noon and whatever. So it's just a proposal of I think we could make it a little more streamlined. See, it's always Friday and it's always Monday. Can we get this on the agenda? Where's this? It's just.
Who's that?
No one in particular, just in general. Just in general. Yeah.
I don't know anybody
yeah.
that talks like that.
Jackson, any more thought of changing the public forum?
That's what we're discussing.
It's all part of the deal.
That's what's coming up right now.
It's all part of the deal.
For once, we're way ahead of you, Pat.
That's hard to do.
Once and only once. We better mark.
I want it on the record.
Right.
What's the score?
We better do it right here.
7-0?
6 months ago.
Oh, they've still got time to come back.
So you have an amended agenda to talk about agenda protocol.
Yep.
Is that what she's, okay.
You better watch that show, Family Football. Oh, it's really good.
Okay. So this is just my proposed agenda. I think it would make things a lot easier here at City Hall. So council, I'm asking for support to approve the way we set the agenda. I think this would give ease to city staff and citizens, so let's talk about it. Public forum. The first public forum will no longer require residents to sign up by Wednesday before the meeting. The second public forum at the end of each meeting will remain unchanged. The 3-minute speaking rule for public forum will be consistently enforced, and I will gavel people down if they're more than 3 minutes. Agenda items requiring council action. All topics requiring council action must be submitted to the city clerk by Wednesday at 4 p.m. prior to the regulatory scheduled Monday city council meeting. The administrator and the mayor will jointly approve the agenda, as past practice has usually prevailed. The agenda packet will be completed, printed, and posted online by Thursday at 4 p.m. and any additions to the agenda. Any additional agenda items must be submitted to the clerk and approved by either both the administrator and the mayor together or whatever, no later than Friday at 12 noon. This schedule provides council members with the weekend to carefully review materials prior to Monday's meeting and having additional agenda items. If city staff has last-minute additions, they may submit an item to the clerk no later than Monday at 12 o'clock noon.
Well, I have heard numerous complaints from the public about the fact that they don't see the agenda. I mean, by the time they see the agenda,
Correct.
it's too late to
In
sign up to
today's-
speak at the public forum before we have a discussion or have a
Yes,
vote.
and it took, I will admit once again, I was wrong and it took me a while to see it when we had first implemented it and started. I know, get that on recording too.
I think that's a good plan. I like
I
it.
like this a lot. I think this will be a structured, a structured checklist for city staff as well as citizens. Is there any other questions, comments, or concerns?
I like it, and I thank you for the test trial and appreciate us going back to the open forum in the beginning. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. So if there's a motion, because I want a motion on this, so I'm not told that I'm out of bounds here. So is there a motion to approve this?
I'll move that we accept the proposal for a new agenda format.
Perfect. There's a
Second. Or Jamie can second.
Hey, everyone's gonna second. There is a motion, there's a second to approve the new agenda etiquette and layout. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Will this be effective next?
Effective
council
next meeting,
meeting?
yes. Thank you. Public forum. This is for those persons that wish to address the council. The council recognizes the value of citizen input. The time will be limited to 3 minutes or longer if the mayor feels it necessary. Anybody for public forum? Come on up, Derek.
Derek White at 37990 White Pine Trail here in Cross Lake. Just one question, as I was hearing about the Rolling Hills development, that the city is taking over the plowing of that road. Remember that we're at the end on the dirt trail, and we could very easily be plowed in by big plow trucks. So I hope there's a plan to keep that open. I normally plow that road all the way through, but now that there's this paved road and all that fun stuff now.
So yes.
Yeah, Pat,
I'm
can you accommodate?
I say, I'm sure when Pat comes in, you'll try to shoot it one direction and not throw the snow towards his entry.
We can try it now, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems utterly unfair if.
Well, we can't get out.
Yeah.
If you plow us in,
Yeah.
we
Right.
can't get out, and I run a business here.
Yeah.
A plowing business, ironically, and I can't get out, yeah. So I would just like you guys to be considerate or let your drivers know that there's two people, Dan, which is David's son, and myself at the end of the road that live there. And I prefer not to get plowed.
We'll try to shoot it right when we come in instead of shooting it left towards
Yeah,
you.
That'd be
So,
great.
Sounds good, Derek.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kathy, are you coming on down or coming up or?
Isn't the wireless one underneath there?
City Hall was notified of like issues, right? Pardon me? City Hall was notified.
It's right here. There you go.
Thank you. Since there's two of us, we have 6 minutes, correct? Two different addresses. Okay. What?
It's on, it's on. Just start talking.
Paul, going through the city's website last year, I discovered that there were maps from the city's comprehensive plan. I looked at them and saw that our property had future road connections running through it. Here's that map.
Thanks.
I've seen this, but.
We contacted several past and current city staff, council, and commission members. We asked to have these road connections removed from the map. No one reached out to us to discuss why these were there or what our concerns were and still are. This year, the city removed the comprehensive plan from the shelf and started using it. We renewed our efforts to have these road connections moved from the map again in our property. We reached out again and was met with silence. This map, taken from the county GIS map, shows why we would like to have these removed.
So as you can see, the black outlines our property. And these are the future road connections that go through our property. And incidentally, through our esteemed police officer here.
Can I just interject?
This is our business.
Yeah.
It goes right through.
So, once again, as the city has said numerous times, this is a plan for the future. This is not shoving it down Kathy and Larry Allen's throat
But it
or the
is-
Marx's throats.
It is bringing people onto our property. We kick people off. Actually,
So you're saying they've somehow gotten, Larry, I'm not arguing with you, but I think people are gonna come down your road anyways, just because of where it is. I don't think they're going to the City of Cross Lakes website, looking for the comprehensive plan, digging through the future proposed roads and coming through your property
actually, it
because
doesn't
of
say
this map.
proposed, though. It says future
Future.
connection.
Future road construction and road connections, and we went through this with planning and zoning.
We just want it removed.
Planning and zoning said it challenged in court. The comprehensive plan will stand. This could be challenged in court.
Okay, so-
And the comprehensive plan, if you decided to do this. Comprehensive plans preserve important natural resources, agricultural land, and other open lands. Ensure that growth makes community better, not just bigger, and protects property rights and values. This is our livelihood,
Yes,
our
it
children's livelihood, and it's generational land.
totally understood.
Just a propose and something for the future. Take it off,
Totally understood.
please.
We have to do the.
This was
we-
going to be addressed during our wrap-up. of the-
Exactly. We have to, this is still in conversation. We're working on the comp plan as we've had numerous conversations with you guys that we're still in progress on this.
There has not been numerous conversations,
Okay,
Jackson.
I guess we've had numerous conversations about planning and zoning between
Right,
yourself.
Planning and zoning, I'm just bringing up planning and zoning
I
only
believe this has
because-
been talked about numerous times in this. We, okay, well,
No, but that was-
regardless,
that was a
we have to crack the comprehensive plan and make a formal motion that we're gonna update it and redo it. It's being talked about. I can't tell you that I'm doing, or have any proof when we haven't even gotten there. We're getting close to our wrap-up, Kathy, and then we're gonna make a motion depending on what they figure out and come back with to either approve of opening up and updating the comprehensive plan, which is probably the way it will go, is updating the whole comprehensive plan, and this will most certainly be addressed as it is now and be a part of it.
I'd like to finish, please.
Go ahead, I'm just also giving you my stance.
Feeling frustrated, I did some research and found that we could petition the city council to amend the comprehensive plan, in this case, the future road connection maps. This is our official application, written request to have these roads removed from our property. We look forward to further discussing with this you and I don't know why I vote for sometimes. And not have any unanswered emails or silence from people. No one has talked to us and asked us about it.
Okay, so since you and I first initially talked about this probably 4 months ago, you haven't told me you haven't had a response on it. So,
I emailed you and Sandy July 10th, 2025.
and I called you in the Reed's parking lot, and we talked about it for 20 minutes. 20.
I don't recall, Jackson.
Well, I remember talking to you about it when you were very frustrated on the phone.
Right, and I'm still frustrated.
And I understand.
I apologize, Kathy, when we
things.
talked, I thought,
That was
I
the
thought you
last
understood
city
that I
council
had
meeting, or
put
2
it
city
down.
council meetings ago. This was before that, when she had called me.
I would like you to know that I've got a lot of my information from the League of Minnesota Cities website, especially the comprehensive planning, land use, and city-owned land. There's a lot of stuff in here that the city needs to take seriously.
And I will reiterate, I hear you, I get it. We are trying our best since January to straighten things out, and I'm proud to say we are. We're getting there. Stuff doesn't happen at the drop of a hat or a snap of a finger.
I got that. We've been over at this for over a year now, and I'm trying to have someone communicate with me. Communicate with me what is going on. Have somebody from a commission communicate with me. Show me the new map. Show us the new map.
I hear you.
That's all we're asking.
So, Ms. Nelson, back to the conversation that I've had with you numerous times too. Don't we need a formal motion to change anything in the comp plan, to adopt, to open it, to re-update it? What we were talking about this afternoon?
That would be a planning and zoning question.
Okay.
I would think so. I mean,
That's what
changing
you
the
told me this
comprehensive,
afternoon.
changing the comprehensive plan is a major undertaking. It's not you just change one thing at a time. That's not how it's done. Or has been
And we were
done.
getting there, and Kathy, I apologize that, I thought we did, that brief discussion we had, that you understood that we're working on this, but,
I was asking for an update. That's all I was asking for, and I didn't get an update.
well, I didn't have one yet because we haven't met for the wrap-up, but
After a city has adopted a comprehensive plan, all future amendments to the plan must be referred to the Planning Commission for review and comment. No plan amendment may be acted upon by City Council until it was received the recommendation from the Planning Commission or until 60 days has elapsed from the date of an amendment proposed by the City Council has been submitted to the Planning Commission for its recommendation. Cities generally have 60 days to approve or deny a written request relating to zoning, including applications to amend the comprehensive plan that are not initiated by City Council or City Planning Commission.
so we have 60 days.
We have 60 days.
Okay.
Our request. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I make sure, so for the record, and the minutes, does it record, will the minutes reflect this request so that we ensure that it's, thank you, sure.
Is there anyone else for public forum? Any other new business? Any other old business? Attorney's report.
Good evening. I have nothing new to report, but I will work with Lori on this sewer connection question. But certainly let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to review as well.
Awesome, thank you, Jordan. Ms. Conway, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay, seeing nothing, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
There's a motion second, those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.